Thank you and good evening. Welcome to the Monday, May 9th, 2022 City Council meeting for the City of Lamar. I'm Mayor Kirk Crespin. We do have somewhat of a light agenda tonight, but we'll just cut right into it and keep everything short and hopefully get out of here early. So with that said, we do have Galen Burnett here for our invocation. Galen, would you like to do the invocation?
Father, we want to thank you for your work and your protection, your blessing upon our city. Father, we thank you for the moisture that we've gotten. We sure need a lot more of it. Not too much at a time. Give us some more moisture, please. Father, we also ask for your continuing work, helping our city to grow, to expand, to meet all the services that are needed by our residents. Father, we thank you for our city council and the dedication that these men and women have. We pray your blessing upon them. We pray that you give them insight and wisdom as they make decisions tonight, as they investigate, as they find out what the possibilities are. Help them to make the right decisions. Father, we thank you for our city council. We thank you for our city workers, their administrators, and the everyday workers. Father, we pray your blessing upon them, your protection upon them, as they work to try and improve our city, to keep it up. Father, we just pray now that you will be leading and guiding in this meeting tonight, that you'll be opening things up so that our city can make progress. We thank you for that. We thank you for all your work, all your blessing. And we thank you in the name of our Savior, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Manuel, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:03 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Mike Bellamy.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins. Here. Kurt Crespin.
Here.
Oscar Riley.
Here.
Manuel Temez.
Here.
Anne Marie Crampton. Here. Rob Evans.
Present.
Kristen McCray. Here. Lance Clark.
Here.
Okay, we've all had an opportunity to look at the consent agenda. Do we have any changes or items that need to be?
Can we amend the agenda by adding the...
Okay. Okay, an extra. So we do have some letters here that we are passing out. These were last minute additions where SECED contacted me as the TPR, which is the Transportation Regional. The director had contacted me, needing to get a letter of support approved. And then we also had one for Crossroads Turning Point that needed to get a letter of support. These came in yesterday and they were Friday, which was already after the agenda had put on, but they needed decisions on them before our next meeting. So I'd like to add these two into either the miscellaneous or as an agenda item, which would...
Miscellaneous.
Right before the miscellaneous, we'll just do an agenda item to review letters of support. Are you guys good with doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
So at the end of the meeting, or at the end of the agenda, we will add an agenda item, which would be number 12, for review and approve letters of support. And then item number 12 will turn to 13 for the miscellaneous. Are we good with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Can we get a motion?
I got it.
Don't vote on that. Don't vote with this.
Yeah, we won't vote with the controllers, but we'll vote verbally. So we have a motion and a second to add agenda item number 11. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed unanimous, so we will add that in at the end of the meeting. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Were there any items that needed to be separated out? Seeing none, do we have any changes or corrections or?
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as submitted. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, did everybody get one of these letters?
Yep.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is the public comment portion of the meeting. This is the audience participation portion. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is at the discretion of the council. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council tonight? Okay, seeing none. If there are questions or things that needed to be asked online, you could ask on Facebook, and at the end of the meeting on the miscellaneous, if there is time, we will respond to the questions at that time. If not, we'll respond afterwards. All right, next item on the agenda is the city treasurer's report. Kristen?
I don't have anything for this evening unless someone has questions for me.
No questions, thank you. Next item would be the city clerk's report. Linda?
Our March sales and use tax collected in April was $418,916.86, which was down 0.5% or $2,085.21 from 2021. Our year-to-date collections were $1,646,964.88, which is up 1.11% or $18,130.72 from 2021. Just a little tidbit is that we had 4 or 5 returns that did not get received due to a mailing issue. They were mailed on time, we just didn't get them in time. I believe that if those had come in on time, we would have broke even. We wouldn't have been down at all. And that's it.
Okay. Do you have any questions for the city clerk?
I don't have any. None.
Okay. All right, seeing none, we will move on to the city administrator report.
First, I'd like to say thank you to all of the workers for the city. It was a great weekend. We had great parks. We've got a lot of projects ongoing that guys are working hard right now. And I just want to say it was fun to take the kids out and see the parks. And everybody else seemed to be very approving till the wind hit in. But bottom line is I wanted to say thanks to all my guys out there and all the girls that were working. So thank you very much. Coffee with Rob, come on out and have some on me. I know we've had some fun discussions the last couple of times. So I will be going to Rivals on May 11th, May 18th at the Truck Plaza, and May 25th at the Holiday Inn Express. They volunteered to, I got to make sure he's going to be ready early that morning, but he said he would help out and we would have a new location. So any other businesses out there that want to have a coffee with Rob, have some people come in, just let me know and I'll put you in on the schedule. Just to let you know, hey, May is Military Recognition Month. Oh, all right. The Ranch Rodeo at the fairgrounds on Saturday, the May the 14th at 1 o'clock. We also have Fishing with the Kids out there at North Gateway Park, 1 to 3. We have the Cml Spring Outreach, May the 18th at 3 to 4:30 at the Cultural Event Center. Lamar Days, that's coming up soon, so everybody's going to have fun. Lamar Days kickoff is Friday, May 20th, 10:30 to 1:30. Street dance is on the 20th at 6 to 9. We're going to have a parade on May 21st at 10 a.m. and the car show is what I've been looking forward to is Friday and Saturday. So, yeah.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Also on Friday, May the 20th at 6 p.m. is the Rod Run Cruise and Poker Run that they have on the Friday night. You didn't have that on your list there for the
I missed
Lamar
that, I'm
Days.
sorry.
Where does that start?
Sonic.
At Sonic, 6 p.m.
Isn't that called the No Booze Cruise or something like that?
Yep.
That's what it used to be called, I don't know if we're calling that this year or not.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's good.
No booze. No booze cruise, yeah. So that would still be happening that night.
That's right.
Sorry, just wanted to mention it.
Projects, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, you've seen some of our curb and gutter guys out there working, we're out there close, where Arby's is going to be. We've had, if anybody paid attention out there by the reception center or the welcome center, we got the Tesla stations. They're almost complete and ready to work. They're still taped off, and still they got a few little things, but those look nice out there. And if you have it's gonna be real neat for the city. I know that we've had a lot of different groups saying, hey, they've been looking forward to, and they want information. So we're gonna be, we're putting them where we want them, and I think it's gonna be great for the city. And let me see, other projects.
And just so the council is aware, they did want to, we had discussed having a ribbon cutting when they're completely done, and they were going to have some of the different groups that were going to come into town, but we'll send out a message to everybody for that when it does get scheduled.
Speaking of ribbon cuttings, we had a good one here this last week. Starting off of phase 3 of the 287 project. We're looking forward to it. It's a lot of money and a lot of improvements to the drivability and the citizens of Lamar. So we're always grateful for all the help we get from our big brothers. All right, miscellaneous. Anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to know about?
I'd like to add to your parks thing.
Yeah.
I had a personal experience because some of us don't have mothers that are alive. So in the process of visiting cemeteries, I noticed that one of the cemeteries I visited, there were several headstones that were knocked over, rearranged by mowing equipment. Every headstone in the whole cemetery was gouged on from the mower. But I don't see that at our cemeteries that are operated by our parks guys or whoever operates the cemeteries. So I just wanted to
Thank
say
you.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I'll let them know. Take pride in it.
Okay. Any other questions for the city administrator?
I do have one other one. Somebody asked me about the, where we are on the CDOT project, the walkability ADA. Wasn't that
The sidewalk, is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about, the sidewalk?
sidewalks and,
Right now, we're waiting on an extension on both grants from CDOT. We've reached out to them several times. We were able to actually, Craig and I have a meeting with our person that's overseeing our grant on that. And they have waited so long to give us the go-ahead to get started that we need an extension now. And so we're waiting on those before we can actually get started. So we're at the mercy of them right now. We hadn't had a notice to proceed, so we couldn't go forward. They've had a change in staff, and it's really affected that department. So we're working through that with them and in contact with them, and are asking for an extension on both of those so we can get rolling on both sidewalk projects.
so have we been approved on both the west and the east? I thought it was just.
We have
Oh.
a $100,000 one and a $61,000 one. They say we're approved, but I haven't seen the approval letter on the second one.
Okay.
So that I am also needing that to be able to go forward. So Craig has been doing a really good job, and his staff working on that with me, and so we're moving forward on that. And then the pedestrian bridge project, we actually have bids due this week. They're due by Tuesday at 5 o'clock. We've had our pre-bid meeting. We had our date pass for questions. So those bids are due Tuesday. We'll open those Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And then we'll be able to start the pedestrian bridge also down at the end of by the college.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure, maybe Kurt can answer. Did we have any updates on North Fork Farms on what they're up to and their progress as to what's going on over there?
No. And they haven't had any withdrawals on
They
the
haven't had
funds
zero
or anything. They did install the weigh station, and they started working on the new offices there at Colorado Mills. And so they put off the project. The last time I spoke with Tim, which was, the end of last year, they were trying to debate on the next direction, the next steps. They did put it on pause. I'll reach out to them and see where they're at and what their plan is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. But it was put on pause, and they have not taken any withdrawals or accepted any funds from the city or anything like that yet, so.
Now, are we on a time limit with those funds?
Will they have a 5-year lease, I believe it is?
That's what I was just trying to run through my head. I can check that and get back with you on that. I have that lease in my file
And they have to have
downstairs,
the project completed and buy the facility from us within that time frame. If not, then they turn it back over and not.
And go to the city, correct?
Yes, with the funds.
but- And I can email that out and share that with you so you guys can see that.
Yeah, we had that contract that was sent out, so we can. Yep.
Thank you for that.
And then, Rob, were you gonna give us an update on the Maine Cafe project?
Oh, well, we did have some good news there. I know that we've had, was it the infrastructure that did come in? So some of our assessments have come back. They're drafts, but we're still waiting on electrical and mechanical, I believe. But some of them are starting to come in now, and I think that means that we'll very soon be able to take our next steps forward. And,
Sorry, how about the last asbestos? Because I know they went in there and sawed a bunch of holes, they could get material.
I hope to have some really good news at the next council meeting, because announcements, but at the next meeting, I should have some good news for you guys and a way ahead on how to get that. We have not done the phase 2 thing for that, but it needs to be done.
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
Okay. All right. Any final questions for the city administrator? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 1 of the new business. Policy change to the library circulation change regarding fees. This is brought in by Sue Luthrop. Sue, would you like to speak on this?
Thank you. About 6 months ago, I came to the council because we were trying to be more transparent in how we charge fees from the library. We didn't make any changes, but what we were trying to do is show what we actually did. And at that time, Joe suggested that we go back over the policy so that it's actually in the policy as to how we make our decisions regarding fee changes. For example, if we waive fees for something. So we did go over the policy as the library board, and the policy that I gave you is what the library board agreed on. Excuse me.
And I guess, if you don't mind, it helps with leaving the fee schedule adjustable. You guys don't have to come in and redo the whole policy. You can just update the fee schedule, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And what we basically made clear in this policy is that any decisions that we make are mission-driven. If it's in the library's mission, then we will make a consideration. Otherwise, we will not consider a fee change.
Okay. And technically, the library really doesn't need to bring this to get approval on a policy change, do they? But
It would be good.
But it would be
Yes.
good.
If it involves any monies or anything
Yeah.
like that, then
Okay.
yes.
Because then that's something
I thought
that,
policies,
well, the auditor will check to he'll
Make
audit
sure.
those once in a while to make sure that council's approved them and that they're following what was approved.
well, I was just gonna say, I appreciate you bringing it in, because I didn't think we needed to
Just
on
with
policy
money.
changes, but.
A lot
if
of
that's the
internal
case-
policies that don't have anything to do with money, no, we won't bring them to you.
Right.
But if it does have to do with the public and money, then yes. And especially if the council's already looked at it and we want to bring it back to make sure that everybody gets an update on it.
Okay.
Library board is satisfied with this?
Yes, they are.
Sue, thank you for following
Thank you
through
for
with
the
that. I appreciate
suggestion.
that.
So the library director is you, correct?
Correct.
So it's yourself or the advisory board, if somebody wants to take something to the entire board?
They may, yes.
Okay.
I move we approve the new library fee verbiage.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the changes to the policy. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is item number 2, which is the proclamation number 22-03 A proclamation declaring the week of May 11th through the 17th as National Police Week and May 15th, 2022 as Peace Officers Memorial Day. This was initiated by Chief Miller. Kyle?
In 1962, President Kennedy established National Police Week and also National Law Enforcement Memorial Day. This is just proclamation to recognize those in the city of Lamar for this year.
Okay. Would you like to read that?
I will gladly read it. So, proclamation declaring the week of May 11th through 17th, 2022 as Police Week and in connection therewith declaring May 15th, 2022 as Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas the Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officer Memorial Day and the week in which it falls is National Police Week, and whereas the members of law enforcement agencies within the state of Colorado play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of the state of Colorado, and whereas it is important that all citizens of Colorado know and understand the duties, responsibilities, and challenges of their peace officers, and whereas it is important that peace officers throughout Colorado recognize their duty to serve the people of this state by safeguarding life and property, protecting citizens against violence, disorder, and deception, and protecting the weak against oppression and intimidation. And whereas the law enforcement agencies within the state of Colorado have grown to be modern and professional agencies that unceasingly provide a vital public service, and whereas it is fitting and appropriate for the citizens of Lamar to join together in commemorating peace officers past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their community, and in doing so established for themselves an inviolable and enduring reputation for preserving the right and security of all citizens. Now therefore, one, that we, the members of the City of Lamar, Colorado City Council, hereby proclaim May 11th, 2022 to May 17th, 2022 as Police Week in Colorado in recognition of peace officer efforts in safeguarding the citizens of Lamar, and call upon the citizens of the state and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe Police Week. And that we, the members of the City of Lamar, Colorado City Council, hereby proclaim the day of May 15th, 2022 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in recognition of those officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the supreme sacrifice or who have been disabled in the line of duty, and call upon the citizens of Lamar to recognize and participate in the observance of this worthy occasion.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation number 2203. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Given under my hand and seal of the City of Lamar on this 9th day of May 2022, I approve this proclamation number 22-03. There's my signature. Do you have a? Okay.
Thank you.
It looks like we have some officers here as well for the
That's
event.
everybody that's on the street right now.
The support? Well, they're not on the street.
A
Well,
lot of
thank you
people
guys.
don't realize that these guys give up nights, weekends, birthdays, holidays with their families. People don't always think about that whenever they're calling Christmas Day, whenever they're having a problem with their house, and these guys have to go out and respond to that. Birthday parties, we very rarely get invited over to a house because somebody's having a birthday celebration. They want us to come by and sing happy birthday with them. But these guys these guys and girls do an extraordinary job every day. I'm very proud to work with each and every one of them. They all do a good job. They work hard. They're dedicated to their jobs, and I appreciate, I probably don't say that nearly enough, but I appreciate each and every one of them.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for all you do. And I encourage everybody in the community to join us in celebrating our officers during the Police Week from May 11th through the 17th and show your appreciation. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is still Chief Miller. We have overnight camping in Willow Creek Park. This is for June the 2nd through the 5th. Kyle?
The Lamar Lives are doing their
annual swim meet. Some of the families like to stay in the park. They bring campers down or meet down. It's a little bit cheaper for them to do that, to be able to come down. So they're just asking for the overnight camping June 5th through June 2nd. So that they can have families stay in the park and they're close to that. And hopefully it's getting hot, so they can enjoy that. I bet you will.
I make a motion to approve camping overnight in the park.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve overnight camping in the park. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is item number 4, annual extended maintenance. This was initiated by Thomas Sanchez, our IT director. Thomas, would you like to speak on this?
Yeah, it's for 2 of our units that we have right now that we are putting into a more active capacity. Before they weren't being utilized as well, and now that we're putting more, I guess, vital data on them, that I would like them to be covered by an annual extended warranty for 1 year at least. But with that being said, it's to have them send us hard drives, motherboards, power supplies, anything that may go out in these 2 units. One will be placed in the library, and the other one will be a disaster recovery unit to be housed probably
So moved.
I reviewed it. I don't have any issues with it either.
Okay, we had a motion
I'll second.
and we now have a second. So are there any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you. Item number 5, permission to apply for the fiscal year 2021 to 2022 EMS subsidy money. This is initiated by Chief Burkhardt. Chief?
All right, Mayor Council, thank you this evening. So this is pass-through money that we get from CPG. Every year, $15,000 is allocated to each county, and in Prairie County, we split that up 2/3 with Holly, because they cover 1/3, we cover 2/3. So this year, with our monies, we'll be utilizing those approved to go ahead and pay our medical director, which new expense we had accrued this year, and then also use about $4,000 for some recruitment and maybe a little bit of retention. We don't show up at career fairs, and we don't have banners. We bring all the cool toys and stuff like that. We won't actually say who we are unless we're in uniform. So I'd like to get some banners and some publications out, so that way we can sit there and do some more recruitment.
The most comments I had about the latest, it was not really a recruiter fair, but when we had the student out there at the community building, it was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of people tell me that it was neat. They got to go talk to the fire department. So they had probably the best set of people.
Make a motion to accept the grant.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the grant or to allow them to apply for the EMS subsidy money. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is the clay pit and permit agreement. This is initiated by Pat Mason. Pat?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. So for probably approximately the last 10 years, we've utilized clay from the Friedrichs pit. And we purchased that through Riverside Aggregate. They approached me probably about 6 months ago, said they were gonna more or less close that pit and reclaim it. And had asked if the city would be interested in maybe taking it over so that we could maintain that access to that clay. And I know early on, we did an extensive search, throughout the county of pits that were in operation. And we found multiple clay pits, but none of them would actually pass spec. And this was the only one out of the entire bunch that would actually consistently pass the spec. We need to meet the liner specifications. So basically what I'm asking is to enter this agreement with Mr. Friedrichs, and it consists of 160 loads per year over the next 5 years, $75 per load for $12,000 per year. We've been kind of working through Lance and then back and forth with funds. We finally hammered out an agreement that we can all agree to.
How does it compare to what you were paying when
It's
they had it
actually-
open?
It's actually about half what we were paying.
Okay.
The trade-off would be is that we are gonna be responsible for reclaiming that pit. So when we're done with it, we'll have to go in and, seed it and get some vegetation growing.
So is the permit with the state going to be in the city's name then on
Yes,
that pit?
so there's, two things going on. We'd wanna transfer that pit from the Division of Mining into the city's name, and then also enter into the agreement with Mr. Friedrich, so.
What's the estimated cost to reclaim it? Projected, we're not gonna hold it to you, but there's gotta be some kind of idea.
I'd say-
$1 million, $2 million, $200,000.
Probably somewhere between 15 and 30,000.
And how much equipment is out there that's in operation that we will have access to that we'll have to maintain? Is there any? We bring our own equipment?
We would bring our own equipment. There's no current equipment that comes with the deal or anything. It's-
Okay.
We bring our own equipment. And as we haul clay out, we would haul clean fill material back in from the landfill, which we've got tons of it out there. It's just overburden. We don't have any use for it.
And the fencing's not gonna be an issue? Do we have fencing, or we're gonna have to purchase the fencing to put around?
We'd have to purchase some fencing. I don't think it'd be a real big issue. I probably wouldn't fence the entire site, just in the sections that we're working in. And as we progress, we'll move the fence.
Now, you're talking fencing as the clay pit, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Since it's a mine, it has to be closed off too.
Do any other local cities use that clay?
Not that I'm aware of this particular pit. Now, the state, obviously requires that all landfills have to have a liner. So I'm sure a lot of them you can use bentonite, which I'd have to import in here at an extremely high cost. I've looked into synthetic liners, which are about 10 times what we paid for the clay. So, I think this is the cheapest, most economical option for us. And
I was getting is subleasing it. Is there be any?
it's possible. I don't know whether that's really not in the agreement, though, the way it's written.
Without an agreement, we certainly, it's one of those pieces that we.
If there's no other usage, if nobody's like, hey, where can we get it,
If he
But
was-
if there was, and if it was an option, since we were the ones who are gonna be carrying the mining rights to it, just saying.
But then at that time, Lance, you could revise the agreement here, is that correct?
Sure, you can enter into a additional or make modifications to this agreement, but they have to be agreed upon. Which is the same as if we tried to assign this, the owner would have to be in agreement with that.
I would,
I wouldn't wanna change it in the way it is, I was just a thought.
I think since it's the cheapest material we can find, I think we should be very selfish with it, because there's not gonna be an endless supply. One day we're gonna run out.
How long do you think it'll last? It'll last the 5 years?
Yeah, I don't think there'd be an issue with passing the 5 years. I think potentially probably 15 to 20 years worth of play here. But we
How long?
decided we'd do 5-year increments.
How long before we upgrade anyhow?
Before we upgrade to the landfill.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that landfill has about 30 years of life left in it, so.
Well, I make a motion to approve the clay pit and the permit.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is motion to ratify the approval of rental agreement with Velocity for the rent of one sewage pump for a 2-month period. Pat, this was brought in by you and Rob. Would you like to speak on it?
So recently, we had 2 of the 3 pumps in our northwest drainage stormwater system over here on Maple and 7th more or less. So 2 of those went down. They're basically telling us they can take 2 and make 1 work, but it could be several months. So right now, we've actually ordered 2 new pumps, which are 12 weeks out. They'll actually have to come from overseas to build. So what I wanted to do in the meantime is it took us a while, but we located a pump that we could rent. And my fear being is just 1 pump right now working in here, it may handle the lighter rains and things probably with no issues. But if we were to get one of these, 1 inch in half hour or something, there's gonna be issues trying to move that much water. So I wanted a little bit of insurance that we've got an extra pump in there to handle the heavier rains, which we need the rain, so I don't want to push it away, but I don't want to take a chance and and think that we can get by with one pump either. So I was asking that we be able to rent this pump for at least 2 months. One thing that has transpired since Friday, and I made Rob aware of it, we're gonna save on the freight. We actually sent a city employee out to get the pump, and they should be here with it at midnight tonight, so. Save us around 14,000 for free.
Wonderful.
So since this was an emergency, we did a phone poll with the council so that we can get this in place before the next rain storm. So this is what we're doing, is ratifying the phone poll, correct?
Correct.
Make a motion to ratify the phone poll on emergency pump rental.
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to ratify the phone poll. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Pat.
Next item on the agenda is lease on utility billing inserter. This is initiated by our city clerks, Linda Williams. Linda?
Okay, so this is similar to our postage meter. The lease is up on our billing inserter, which is what helps us do our billing at the end of every month for utility bills. The lease will expire the end of October, and I've included 2 different lease options in there. Lance has reviewed both of them. I am recommending that we go with the lesser of the 2 options, or the $946.44 for a 5-year lease. A quarter for a 5-year lease.
Linda, what's the difference in the envelope feed? Is it gonna be faster and easier if we get the one with the envelope feed? Is it worth the $200?
It isn't. So, what I'm requesting now is very similar to what we currently have, and it works fine.
We're good with that. Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the lease on the utility billing and inserter for the 946.44.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item is Ivor Hill on the 700 East Parmenter. This is a 3rd agreement which allowed him to have extend the time for the performance between Southeast Colorado Mini Storage LLC, which is Ivor Hill, and the city of Lamar. Rob, would you like to speak on this?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Okay. So Ivor Hill was working on the 700 East Parmenter property, and he has made some significant improvements. He was needing some extra time to finish up and get supplies in at our last meeting, so we had asked Lance to work up an extension for that and bring it back.
Yes, sir. And he did receive the parts that he was needing, and you've seen he's made even further. The painting's going on, so if we give him this extension, I think we'll actually get this one completed.
He did call me earlier today. I was busy in meetings, so I didn't have a chance to call him back, but I know the last time I spoke with him, he was moving and progressing as planned. He was also working on another project here in the city of Lamar, and planning on some future projects. So he is committing to doing more future projects similar to this.
If we can skip to the 3rd year of the agreement each time, that'll be great.
Yeah. Okay, what's the council's pleasure?
I move we have approved the agreement and have the mayor sign it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the 3rd agreement and for the extension and have the mayor sign it. Any final questions?
Is that, it's gonna be the same as the date change?
This is the 3rd. This is when we first started negotiating it.
Rob,
This is
what does he have to have actually done on
Just
this?
the outside.
Just the
Just
outside?
the outside.
And that's windows, the siding, the roof?
Painting and everything. So it looks nice when you're driving by. The inside is not part of it.
It's not part of the deal.
And he was to have that by the end of May.
Okay.
Okay, any other, did you get your question answered? Or?
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Agenda number 10, ordinance of the City of Lamar amending certain sections of the Lamar Municipal Code to encourage the citizens of Lamar to enjoy safe use of North Gateway Park. We had a work session on this before this meeting, and there were some changes that were introduced by the council during the work session. Because the changes were made, we will be tabling this until the next meeting, and our city attorney will bring in the new revised ordinances with the changes. So we will pass on that one.
Can you go ahead and do a motion to?
Yeah, we'll need a motion to table.
Make a motion to table?
Give me a motion and a second. Sorry, Anne Marie did the move, right? Motion first.
Okay.
So we'll let Joe do the second. All right, any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Agenda item number 11 is similar. This was the vacancy ordinance for the vacant residential and commercial buildings. We did make the changes to remove residential and just focus on commercial. And then we also had some further discussions to have about the fees and fines for this ordinance. So we will be coming back to another work session to discuss that more in depth. And we will table this if the council so chooses.
Make a motion to table agenda number 11.
Second.
Okay, we had a motion and a second to table it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, that brings us to item number 12, which was an amended item that we added in at the beginning of the meeting. It was to review 2 letters of support. One was for the fiscal year of 2022 MPDG US 50B Safety Highway Improvements for Trade and Travel, the SHIFT grant proposal. This was a grant that's being submitted by CDOT to the United States Department of Transportation. The CDOT TPR director, which is Stephanie Gonzalez at SECED, emailed me asking for a letter to support this application. And they needed it sometime this week, so it was before our next meeting, and that's why we added this in. So that's what the first letter was for, and it was to Honorable Pete Buttigieg, who is the U.S. Department of Transportation. Also, we had an additional letter behind that for Crossroads Turning Point, Inc. Crossroads is applying for House Bill 19-1287 funding to purchase the building that they are currently in, so they can expand and provide MAT services and OP services in Lamar, Colorado. They needed to have 3 different entities, including the city of Lamar, that was willing to support their application. So they had asked if we could support that. They technically needed this in last Friday, but the Ginger Watley had given them a little bit more of an extension, so that way they could, I'm not sure if it was Ginger or with the state, but they had received an extension so they can get this presented to the council tonight. So with that said, I'll open it up for discussions.
I move we finish up these letters of support and have the mayor sign them.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to allow the mayor to support these 2 letters of support. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And the motion passed unanimous. Okay, so that leaves us with the last item on the agenda, which is our miscellaneous items. Do we have any miscellaneous items to discuss or review?
Kurt, if I may, I would like to give a big shout out to our fire departments, local and Holly in Grenada. Them guys have been working extremely hard fighting these grass fires, and I'm sure they have been taxed and worked very hard, and I thank them for their diligence in fighting these fires and getting out there and putting these things out.
I would agree completely. I know last week I had heard about, Jerry actually had made me aware about the fire in Hawley. I had reached out to the mayor there, Calvin, and we had discussed it, and I had, tried to offer anything that we could do to help. And he said, well, your guys are already here. So that was great to see that our fire department had already stepped up and was willing to help, and sent the crews already at that time, and hopefully saved quite a bit of an expansion on that fire. So thank you guys, I agree, thank you. All right, any other miscellaneous items?
Just one, I did bring it up already to the city administrator about opting out. Just the requirements, if we do choose to opt out, that it's something that has to be done, otherwise you're stuck in it for 3 years with the family program.
Yes, sir. Kristen and I we'll work on that one and make sure we get a recommendation to you guys.
For the family program?
Yes, sir, family.
Okay.
You can opt in at any time, but if you don't do anything, you're automatically enrolled, and 3 years before you can opt out.
Okay. So you'll be presenting something to us with that, or?
Soon. I mean, we have until the end of the year to make sure they know that we're opting out, but we'll work on that. We need to make sure that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the reminder. All right. We will, the council, since it is Lamar Days on the 21st, they will be having the parade as usual. I think it would be very appropriate for the council to participate in the parade as part of celebrating our city. Is everybody going to be available, or do we have anybody that's not going to be available?
I'm going to be in Lenexa, Kansas.
Okay. Mike, will you be available to ride on the float, or just a trailer with some
hay bales?
Hay bales.
Possibly.
It won't be as cold as the last one you got on.
I think
Yeah.
I might have a Harley calling me, but maybe I can get
Jerry?
off my bike for a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah, I can be there. Manuel, Oscar, Manuel, Emery.
It's also Ducky Dash, so I may have other things to do.
Okay. Well, if you could participate, that would be great. I think it's,
every year for that.
having the council be in the parade, it actually gives our community an opportunity to see the faces of the council and get to know their council, and it's just good to represent our city that way. So if you could do it, that'd be great. Anything else?
I have one thing I would like to congratulate Kristen for this weekend, and we wish you many years of happiness.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
And Gary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. With that said, any,
Move we adjourn?
Second.
we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Mike?
Unanimous in favor of?
Motion passes unanimous. We are done with our meeting. Thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate it, and we look forward to see you on the next meeting.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh, so there was a question, and they were asking how much it was to charge a Tesla?
How much would it cost, and how much would that go towards road tax?
Now, the road tax, I have no idea. Since Tesla put in the chargers themselves, they have their own meter, they have their own billing, it's basically their own business. I know just from personal experience, I will drive to Denver, and my car will charge up to 325 miles. That usually costs me around $16, $17 at the Tesla superchargers. So we're hoping that people are passing through. We'll stop in Lamar. I know for me and the people that I know of, they'll go through Colorado Springs, down to Trinidad, to Clayton, down to Amarillo, rather than passing from Lyman to Lamar to Amarillo. So we're hoping that we can shorten their travel distance and try to capture some of that traffic. Good question. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
Jerry.
We're clear?